Published by Tribute Games and developed by Zenovia Interactive, Steel Assault is a heavy dose of 16-bit Genesis-inspired action, a game that feels like it was pulled right out of that era. In Steel Assault, you'll play as Taro Takahashi, a resistance fighter living in America after it's been devastated from a nuclear war. A genius of robotics turned Army General, Magnus Pierce, now wants to rule over its ashes. Taro Takahashi reminds me of a cross between Captain Commando and Ken from Street Fighter 2010. Steel Assault has a new spin on the classic action platformer with its new zipline gimmick. You can fire a zipline between two platforms in any 8-way direction. This isn't a very long game, so it'll quickly expect you to start pulling off some tricky maneuvers. Whether it's to avoid some powerful attacks, or to do some back-to-back ziplining through a number of hazards. Takahashi is also equipped with an electric whip, not only for attacking, but you can also use it to counter certain projectiles. And there's power-ups around the stages. One will give you a shield that looks like it came straight out of Sonic. The other is a power-up for your whip, which gives you a spread shot of sparks and greater range. In addition to that, he has a slide ability, giving you precious invincibility frames.
When boarding, please move to the center of the car.
The game's presentation has a stunning amount of detail. The first thing you'll notice is that there's a CRT scanline filter on by default. I usually don't like these kind of filters, but it works really well here. I think it adds an extra layer of depth to an already beautiful color palette. Steel Assault looks convincingly authentic. The lush environments are littered with detail. In the color palette, unlike some games, the shades all work well together. It really helps drive forward that authentic 16-bit era experience. I love this game's attention to detail. The way the rain drips down the sides of an open corridor on an airship, even the little things like this awesome lighting sequence, or the game over screens having an ambiance based on where you were killed. Which you will be seeing a lot of, because this is a brutally difficult game. I'm usually not a fan of trial and error style gameplay, but thankfully, if a tricky boss gets the better of you, or you're stuck trying to figure out what to do against them, you can always try again without replaying the stage. Another thing that helps is how you regain all your health every time you enter a new section. This really helps keep the game from getting annoyingly difficult. The bosses themselves are getting a little crazy, like this mechanical bird spitting fireballs that turn into little robotic birds, or a transforming robot dog with little walking time bombs coming out of his mouth. If the visual presentation of Steel Assault didn't already scream Genesis, the sound effects and the music certainly will. The music doesn't skip a beat. Every track is outstanding. And it completely brings me back to the old greats that knew how to utilize the Genesis sound chip, like Streets of Rage 2, and my personal favorite shoot 'em up, Musha. This is a soundtrack you're going to be listening to a long time after the game is over. The composers for Steel Assault were Joseph Bailey and Luca Regina. At times, the game reminds me of Gunstar Heroes. There is a shoot-'em-up element to the gameplay. If you're some sort of masochist, Steel Assault also has an arcade mode that gives you 1 coin, meaning you have 1 life to plow through the entire game. If you're a fan of Contra Hard Corps or Gunstar Heroes, or hell, even Castlevania Bloodlines, I'd argue this is a game tailor-made for you. It's a super short experience, with only 5 stages, but the game achieves what it's setting out to do. I feel this is a game that you might also want to revisit now and again. So for 15 bucks, at least for me, it was more than worth the purchase. It's out now on Switch and PC, so hey, if you got one of those, maybe pick this one up. So guys, as always, thanks for watching. Until next time, Den signing off.